Probably not. You're not a chef. You don't know what you're doing. You're just pushing buttons. But it's that feeling of control that makes you feel alive. And speaking about control here, let's take a look at Overwatch. We got Toronto moving out on this defense, and Asking is going to be out here in the Soldier 76. He's back in progress. He's come back to his favorite cafe, and he's been well protected here in this tournament so far.
Oh yeah, it's such an optimal composition playing this Soldier 76. You have the high ground as well as an Orisa barrier to protect you, and so we've seen Asking do a lot of work on this Soldier 76 in the past, on this first point on Hollywood specifically, where he gets the nano boost applied from Dino, and that's just going to be enough damage output to just win these defensive pushes. And so looking out for Asking on the Soldier 76 once again to perhaps take down Sugar Free on this far.
You know, you have to imagine that there's a world where AKM, I mean, AKM was watching the other day, AKM DeFran, taking a look here, going, you know what? Soldier's doing this right now. We approve. We can't wait to do some soldiering ourselves, as
look, man,
Asking here.
If you're getting shots, there's nothing your team can say about it, so.
Yeah, pretty much. Soldier, pretty good, especially with Dealer Asking, he does a lot of these flanks. He goes around to the side looking for Dalton. Dalton treats him to an arrow, says, hey, a little bit too close to the merchandise there, buddy. Halt's going to come in Toronto. They are getting pushed pretty far away from the cafe here.
Yeah, they are, but actually they're playing this Orisa versus Orisa composition, and it's just poking coming out. So the offense here of LNL, they're just relying on Sugar Free on this Pharah and Dalton on the Hanzo to outpoke this defensive composition of Toronto Esports, and so far they're doing a great job, but no picks to be found yet.
It's pretty good, and oh, finally, Dalton gets one right to the head of Asking. They don't have to worry about the soldier pressure, and suddenly, the equation of DPS goes much more in favor of LNL. Sugar Free doesn't have to worry about the soldier keeping him out of the skies, and oh, well, he gets slapped. Dino says, you know what? Take a little bit of a breather here, but oh, Dalton finds Decod, and Dalton slowly but surely
the flank, though,
getting the pickups needed.
From behind, and he gets a pick.
Yeah. Ooh, Asking. He got him that. Oh, he's gonna get Sugar Free. He has attack visor. Oh, Sugar Free gets back to the cafe. Ajax goes, I'ma join you. Ajax though gets picked off. Sugar Free, close range barrage. All right. But the defense decods on the ham, and he's getting back in.
They're still doing it. And actually, that sleep start on Sugar Free bought enough time for Asking to get back on the soldier, pops attack visor, and gets kills. And I mean, Ajax going to go for resurrection, but the self-destruct is there. He gets out. Gator is alone in the front line. This game is just chaos.
It is absolute insanity, and we see the emergency Hammond working up for Toronto again. Decod loves this hero, but okay. Narrows tires out. They haven't been able to worry about that. Asking, not really close to a visor, but again, he's going for a flank. He's living dangerously. They don't know he's here. Decod drops on in, gets a free pick off on the supercharger, gonna back off, go back in, and okay, the flanking soldier play, it's a distraction, but while this is going on, Dalton is getting some solid work done on the point. Sugar Free on the sky, Dalton on the ground, but Asking deals with Hawk. He has been dealt with.
Yeah, and if I was Mitch Leslie, I'd say some fool me once saying, but I don't know how it goes because I'm Swedish. But it is going to be Asking shutdown on the Soldier 76, and that should buy enough time for the offense. I mean, Asking is back on the soldier again. He just does not want to give this point up, and Decode as well on the Hammond. They finally cap it?
It's looking like it's still back and forth. I'll tell you, if it was meant to be fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, Vegemite, Crocodile, Dundee. That's how it would go. But Dalton, now on the 76, is finally getting the cleanup needed. This has been such a ridiculous back and forth fight. And when the smoke is settled, it's LNL, under a minute left. They take the point. Still a very good defense from Toronto, though.
Yeah, but key words there, CP, under a minute left, so just 3 minutes in the time bank here now for LNL on this offense. They're going to swap up to a Widowmaker and a Genji composition. Try to contest this high ground, but Gator with the Bongo online in just 2%, so he's going to have that up the supercharger, and that could be a win condition for this very weird composition, the dive composition with the Orisa. Good luck, LNL.
Asking, gonna move over, attack visor, nano boost. Everyone's going, you know what, I guess we're gonna stay behind this Orisa shield, or at least try to. Ajax, though, didn't get the medal, just barely getting out of the way. Hawk gets taken down, and again, it's back and forth, because while you have Asking on the ground, you got Sugar Free in the back. On the Genji, looking for weakness, finds Decod, rolling back over. Now taking on Narrow, nice deflection right in the Narrow's face.
It actually works out for them as well, this Orisa fight. Gator just stays alive throughout, and then it's great discipline actually from the rest of LNL as well to stay alive and buy enough time for the Gators Orisa to do enough damage. And with the resurrection coming up from Ajax, that's going to give them the win. And we're looking at one push remaining onto point B with Sugar Free having the Nano Blade up.
Nanoblade in reserve here. Dogman ready to give Sugar Free all the juice he requires. And this is a great spot for Nanoblade as well. So LNL, they're just pushing up the payload. It's up to the defense to get pick off. And Asking certainly could, but you've lost Crackalack, and here comes Sugar Free. He's ready to put an end to this. Deflects the sleep. Excellent stuff from Sugar Free. And Asking doesn't have any support. Sugar Free, heavy redemption as LNL takes point B.
And that's what you expect from a player like Sugar Free as well. We've seen Contenders in the past that he just goes insane on this Genji and just wins the fight pretty easily with an Blade, as expected. And I mean, Gator with another supercharger on this Orisa, he's just going to keep going and just dealing poke damage. And it's going to be hard for Decode on this Reinhardt on the side of Toronto Esports to actually do anything. He's going to be able to push forward, of course, but Dalton has an EMP. And he's able to shut them down in this next fight.
Toronto looking for any forceability here on the defense. Dalton gonna open up the EMP, but Sugar Free's down immediately, right as the EMP was taking effect, and now this fight could go either way. Dogman, though, on the attack. Finds Swimmer, Asking no choice but to back out here on the Zarya. Dino gonna get caught, and the offense getting to pick off some momentum they need.
Absolutely, and so we're looking at one fight remaining with Gator still on this Orisa. I'm putting it out because it's not typically what we see on Hollywood Point C offense, but it is working out for them. Hawk with the self-destruct, that's going to be their win condition. And meanwhile on the side of Toronto Esports, they're just going to run at them with the Nano-Boost here.
LNL hoping to give him one about Hawk, opening up the self-destruct over the top, not going to get anything. Decon able to back out, shield it. Now it's time for him to go in. Nano boost up, Sugar Free gets picked, and Decon going to charge for the fences, slams the Orisa against the back. And Toronto able to bring it back the other way. Only a minute 30 left here for this LNL attack.
And finally, you have to say, Toronto Esports puts a stop onto LNL with that Orisa attack, and swapping to that Ghost composition, they're going to have the ultimate advantage going into the next fight here with Decode having the Earth Shatter, as well as Nero with the rally and Asking on the very verge of building this Graviton Surge. So it's just a matter of time for LNL. Can they actually get a pick here?
It's Rally going in. Nero is weighing up the Zarya shield, goes for the shield bash, Earth Shatter, where you at? And Decon just goes super deep with Gator. Gator gonna take him down, but it doesn't really matter. Toronto gets enough off this fight. Now they can back out. Space and time was created.
And that's exactly what you need if you're on the side of LNL here as well. You don't die too much, you don't let Toronto Esports build those ultimates. And now you're Gator with 75% on that Earth Shatter as well. They're looking to build these ultimates so they can win this final fight.
They're looking for it, Asking, gets stunned, has the grab, but couldn't go for it, didn't want really chance for Brigida, and oh, risky lob, works out. 5 people gonna be stuck in here, fall through, is it gonna come in? Decon certainly wants to jump on into that dog pile, finds one, Ajax was caught, and Decon again, just solid charges and Reinhardt play, gonna be 3 before it's said and done, final 20 seconds.
20 seconds remaining, and Sugar Free and Gator has to get out of this fight. Gator might get picked here towards the end. He actually charges out, and he's going to stay alive. That's crucial. 10 seconds remaining, and Ajax and Gator, they need to touch the payload to build some time for Hawk and Sugar Free to come in with the big ultimates.
Ajax full speed boost. Oh, he was going for sacrifice, but Dino just scrapes him off the wall. The Bionade gets rid of Lucio for free, and Dalton in the back trying to buy time. Sugar Free lobs the grab, but it is all for naught here. Reinforced. Toronto is going to be holding them off right before third. There's going to be a little bit of delay, but they're just outgunned here. Even with the Bionade on the Gator, he's able to live. Okay, hang on.
Yes,
sir. A little bit more question.
90%.
He has to go in. Okay, this is actually starting to be more winnable. They've somehow gone through the eye of the storm. Gator at 92%. He can get the shatter just as you mentioned. He's waiting. 99%. Self-destruct. Gonna shield it.
Oh,
this is winnable.
No.
Oh no, they got the point. Oh
no. No. It's the grand final suit. No.
Oh.
It's a yikes.
I'm actually speechless.
That's a big oof. Oof, CP. Oh my goodness.
He was right there. They were, everyone thought that someone else was gonna be on the point.
Yeah, I mean, Gator could have touched the point on the Reinhardt, but he was shielding Kraken lacking self-destruct there, so trying to stay alive in overtime, but I feel like he could manage his shield and movement speed a bit better to touch the point, but you can't really blame anyone in particular when stuff like that happens, but just has to suck. That just sucks, okay? That just sucks if you're on the side of LNL, not touching the point with 5-6 members left alive.
Think about how that developed when we were looking at it, and also how they must have been looking at it. It looked like the defense pretty much had in the bag, and then Gators somehow survives against the odds. Super low during cleanup, and the reason why he survives is that Dogman comes in, keeps him up. Really good support play. They pull an opportunity that they really shouldn't have had. And then they take that opportunity. They fold it up nicely. They go to the nearest garbage disposal and they shred it. Why? Why have you done this?
Yeah, like they built all the right ultimates as well. Gator had that Earth Shattered. It was just a matter of time before he was going to use it, and just not buying themselves enough time to use those ultimates they built up. But hey, if you're Toronto Esports, you're very happy, and now it's up to asking on this Hanzo to just get an easy win on Hollywood.
And for Toronto here, I mean, all they have to do, finish out the map. You don't need a crazy fast time. You don't have to really worry about time stalls. Oh, Dalton gets picked. DPS Hana. It's going to cause the res to come out, but while the Mercy is resing, the Mercy isn't healing people on the other side. It's a window of opportunity for Nero here, who takes small advantage, almost picks off 2 with those rockets, and that's a problem. Anytime you res, it's such a shift in the poke momentum of the fight. You get your man back up, but it comes at a cost. 2 ticks already the Toronto because of that early pickoff, and Nero just in such a good spot. Gator in trouble. Is he going to live? Absolutely not. Toronto in control.
Definitely in control. The side of LNL, they lost all positional advantage. Dalton didn't have any opportunity to deal damage. They're going to use ultimates on both sides here. Try to get back into this fight, but it's actually looking pretty winnable on the side of LNL. They built ultimates in time.
The problem is Nero has the barrage waiting for it. Has to worry about the demon. Oh, okay, self-destruct. Got to float a little bit quicker than that. Gets away. But the defense has been able to come back in. Dalton, a big part of it. No, falls. Couldn't get away from Decon. Now he's gone. You look towards Nero. Barrage is ready. Oh, he's got to go with the supercharger. There's a tire coming in. Drops the barrage right at the end. Dogman breaks the shield. Gets a supercharger, but falls. It's not over yet.
And it's just chaos. Dragon Strike comes out when Asking is left alive alone, but he gets 2 ticks. He just needs to stay alive and get even more now. Swimmer with him to heal him up. Try to keep
Dalton's
Asking
back.
alive.
Oh no!
Down.
Ajax is going in with the blaster. That could be scary, but Dalton buys enough time. Asking wasn't able to land the arrow on him. Now Soldier back up to the cafe. Free just got destroyed.
What is going on?
And Asking found Ajax. That's big.
It's actually amazing that they managed to win this push based on Asking's 2 initial picks, then staying alive, and they just keep killing members, and that's going to be point A. Gator just stalling. I don't even know, man.
It was still a good defense. He burned 2 minutes and 10 seconds off. You can feel good about it, but the problem is they still have a long way to go.
Oh, absolutely. 4 minutes on the clock here for point B, and while it is a hard point to cap on the side of offense, 4 minutes should be more than enough time. And Asking with the high ground on this Hanzo, he just has free roam, trying to find some additional picks before the fight begins, but they have the ultimate advantage as well. Dino with the nano boost and Asking with the Dragon Strike. They could make it work.
It's a dragon from below to the skies. The dragon ascending to the sun. Doesn't get much. No, Dalton just got wrecked. One for the flank on Asking. Got an arrow to the dome in response, and it's easy cleanup for Toronto right now. Absolutely easy.
Yeah, and you have the ultimate advantage, and you use those abilities, and you win the fight easily. Of course, LNL's forced to swap to a dive composition on point B, and they don't have anything in the bank. This is going to be their shot, though. Dogman building the nano boost and Hawk with the self-destruct. Sugar Free closing in on that Dragon Blade as well, and it's just a matter of how they can execute on this defense, how they can figure this dive out.
Sugar Free has gotten checked pretty heavily by Dino and Asking, more so than he really has by most other teams in the past. We can see the Winston come in, Nano Blade up, Dino went for the sleep, doesn't connect, and that could be it. Moves to the side, deals with Asking, really made sure that both Dino and Asking were out. Public enemy #1 and #2 for Sugar Free, and it works out. LNL's gonna hold.
Yeah, and that's the core of Toronto Esports gone as well. You find those 12 picks, and there's really no way for Toronto Esports to get back into the fight. Asking going to swap over to the McCree, and we're going to see this Brigitte and McCree composition that we've seen so many times on Hollywood Point B. And now it's just a matter of individual skill. Can Asking once again secure some kills and get some momentum going for Toronto Esports?
You know, the funny thing is, normally I see McCree and I go, oh, okay, team's running McCree. I don't know how I feel about this. It doesn't work out super well. Asking is a McCree you can believe in. It's a McCree where it's not a debate. It's something where he is consistently good. And Toronto, of course, they need to regroup here and stop staggering, but it is a big swap.
I mean, they did get staggered there, as you said, and that allows this LNL lineup to build even more ultimates. Dalton's going to have the EMP and Gator closing in on the Primal Rage. Ajax sitting on the sound barrier, and now you're in a position, if you're LNL, where you can start executing with your ultimates, and it's going to be hard for Toronto Esports to really fend off this time.
Dalton holding on TMP. Now it is going to have to go through the rally. Crackalacken goes up top pretty aggressively, gets hacked, but can get back over to his team. Still pretty okay for the offense here. And Dalton drops TMP, was looking for Zen, and no, not going to get it. Asking the fall, Sugar Free went to back, took well advantage, no Dragon Blade required, so the EMP did enough, even without the free Zen pickoff.
Yeah, and you only used one ultimate at that fight as well. The side of LNL are going to have 5 ultimates with 1 minute 20 on the clock, and it's going to be so hard for this Toronto Esports lineup to break this incredible defense with such a solid ultimate economy. If Nero had the rally, that armor could have certainly helped, but instead it's just going to be Swimmer closing on the Valkyrie and Asking with this Peacekeeper trying to find those picks onto the dive.
Remember what LNL is fighting for here is a chance to even up the series 2-2. It's a best of 7. They want this to go the distance. Sugar Free holding on to the blade here in a very, very good spot. High ground, a lot of options. And now the Winston leap down. Sugar Free waiting, just biding his time. A lot of patience before they actually invest.
They need to wait for Gator here on the Winston. He's out of position. That's going to allow Crackalacken to use himself to truck. So actually the side of Toronto Esports looking to go aggressive here.
Nice!
Based on his positioning. Huge Deadeye.
Deadeye. It got 2, and now Sugar Free was getting ready to use the blade. Not going to do it when you're down 2 members. Not a good spot.
But they have another fight, CP. There's going to be one final fight on this point B with 20 seconds remaining. This is the decider of this Hollywood game. Can Sugar Free get a good nano blade with Ajax sound barrier, or will Asking and Nero shut him down?
He needs Gator to make room. Gator has to be the disruption here. Nano Blade out, Sugar Free. Moving in, slapped! Absolutely slapped, Dino, you beautiful Ana, fantastic! I can't believe you're saying, oh, Sugar Free gets woken up, goes in, picks up 3. You can't wake him up there! Why'd you do that? No! What a play towards the end! Oh. All right, it's 2-2. We're going the distance. LNL evening up the score.
Wow.
Why'd you wake the game? Why'd you wake him up?
Oh, man. Does he get play of the game? That would have been sick.
Oh,
maybe.
no.
I mean, he had a lot of good blades. It could be anything. But it is.
Oh, who did it? Who did it? Who done it?
I think maybe. No, I don't wanna assume that could look bad for the players. We don't know really who it was, but anyway, that was a yikes, CP. So many yikes, this Hollywood map.
When the play of the game starts with you sleeping from a fresh sleep and you turn it into play of the game, someone done goofed is the easiest way to say, like, should not happen.
And you can tell it was an accident as well, because he only took like 1 or 3 damage off the sleep as well. So someone dealing very little damage just managed to wake him up, and that's going to be the end of Toronto Esports on Hollywood. And that is the sting, because you have such a good defense of your own, and you just can't win it, you know? That's disheartening, really.
Yeah. That was something. And
it's been so many plays this series where it's just been miscommunication or stepping off the payload or waking up a Nano Genji, and it really just makes all the difference. So now we're in a position where it's 2-2 in this best of 7, and really no indication as to what team has the momentum or is the stronger one.
Johnny, I just need to let you know I had to drop some spice in chat. Ajax said, instead of a map pick, can we just disable Dino Sleep? And I just had to let them know his own team did that. It's fine, Ajax. They're already on it.
Yeah.
At least towards the end of the last map.
I mean, it was a very hard defense for Toronto Esports to break, because I mentioned 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining, and LNL sitting on 5 ultimates, that's when they really should fortify and solidify that defense. But Toronto Esports, they had an opportunity and they just wake up. A non-bladed Genji. You know me, CP. I don't accept these mistakes. You know?
No. Nor should you.
I'm too literal. No excuses. I don't care about ping, jet lag. It's an online tournament. Delays, whatever. No excuses. You woke up a Nono Genji, and that is going to be your demise.
Yeah, pretty much. But so I love seeing the reaction. People are like, why do you sound sad? I'm sad because that was a great sleep dart. I want to see great plays executed. I don't want to see sleeps get broken. That's bad Overwatch. It's hilarious, but what do you want from me? What do you want from us?
It's hilarious if you're LNL, that's for sure. I guess they're smiling and are happy about it. And oof. It's just rough, man. It's just the grand finals. We want a peak level of Overwatch. And this happens, which brings entertainment, by the way. Very entertaining series because it just keeps going either way based on stepping off the payload or waking up Nono Genji. So, you know, credit to the players for making a fun game out of it with a lot of entertainment and mistakes. Thank you, guys.
So, I do need to note here, our 5th map that we're heading to is Route 66. It is also not an assault map, and I have to go look, but I think after this we have to go assault. I don't think we played Ilios yet, though, actually.
We haven't played Ilios, so if one team wins Route 66, we'll go Ilios. But if we go to a 7th map,
it has to be assault.
It has to be assault.
They have no other options. Like they can't get out of it. They have to go to assault.
And really, there's Volskaya Industries, Temple of Anubis, and Hanamura in the map pool. So it's not like you're forced onto one assault map. You really can pick between 3 of them. So no excuses really if you're worse at assault maps.
All right, so we're getting to Route 66.
That's far away though. That's like 2 maps away, but we're still excited about it for some reason.
Yes. We're getting into Route 66. And on the defense here, it is an oldie. It's a goodie. It's still good for different reasons, but Gizzy Sombra out here on the defense where, okay, you might not have the EMP every fight like old school Route 66, but health pack control is still pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And going back down memory lane, of course, you used to build EMPs by using those health packs, but still denying those health packs with the hack can be equally useful. And it comes down to Dalton here on the defense to really make use of those health packs for his tanks and to build that EMP and Nonoblade. That's going to be the win condition for this LNL side, who is playing a very aggressive defense. Not really what you usually see on Route 66, but you can make it work with enough individual skill.
Sugar Free just gonna open up here, deflect into the Diva, dash on in with the rest of his team, and it's an effective dive. They catch Asking off guard, they deal with the Widowmaker threat, and now it's time to back out a bit. You've made them use the res, you haven't lost anyone. All right, they're gonna go back in
now
again.
You're giving up
Bionatic Crack early DMAC. So they're going back over, Asking still with room, but so far has only been hitting bodies, hasn't been hitting heads. We'll see just what he can do here. Sugar Free, though, finish off the baby, and this is super aggressive from LNL.
Oh, absolutely, and it comes down to holding that corner. You don't want to allow Asking on the Widowmaker to get any space whatsoever, so you're going to see Asking move forward on the Widowmaker. Actually has some line of sight on Dogman, but it's always going to be LNL with the aggression, forcing Asking back, and here comes Sugar Free.
Early Nano Blade, because you know you can get away with it. Okay, Sugar Free got super juked. He thought he had Asking, and then Asking was gone. Nero says, this is how you use the blade. Toronto able to make a good one out of that, and that will finally give them what they need to start pushing forward.
But that's a huge read from Asking on the Widowmaker as well, because he acknowledges that LNL has that Nano Blade up, and he starts moving back before the fight even begins. And as Sugar Free comes dashing in, he utilizes that grapple hook to get away from the fight. And just great play from Asking. And now he's going to have the positional advantage on top of the gas station. And it just comes down to, can he find the picks required, or can Dalton enable LNL with this EMP?
And the sightlines on Route 66 are such that a Widow really can take control of the map. Asking, though, not able to get the shot there. Looking to Sugar Free. Sugar Free not looking at him and his opportunity, but opportunity perhaps might have passed. Sugar Free was able to dive in, find Dino, and Asking just looking for a way back into this as the defense is starting to reestablish presence here on point A. Gator, though, a little bit deep, Sugar-Free deep as well. And Toronto now can start swinging this back over.
Yeah, they just can't deal with Asking. He's still alive, and he's just getting so much support from his teams. But LNL, they're still in this. They're going to use the sound barrier, try to stay alive on this payload. Dalton is flanking around in the Sombra, going to try to shut down Asking. But infraside is used, and so Dalton is going to be exposed. And now it's just a matter of LNL. Can they sustain on the payload and buy enough time for those ultimates to come back online?
Dalton certainly thinks so, and LNL able to survive here, even in some rough situations. Gonna see the early hack on the Narrow. Nice stuff from Dalton. Fall through, might not be there, but LNL, again, they're not making this an easy attack here for the offense. Narrow, though, gonna bring out the blade. Oh! It wasn't slept, but it was close. Moves in, Nano goes forward, gets Hawk, and that's enough there from Narrow.
Oh, absolutely, and when you have a Nano base coming out, alongside a Widowmaker, that just gives so much room to the Widowmaker as well to find those picks. So Nero cleans up with the Nano Blade as well as Asking on the Tracer. Doing work really with a huge aggressive dive composition, and they're going to stick to this Tracer and Sombra composition as well, where it can be pretty rough, especially on point B here for Route 66 to find those good angles. But applying a lot of pressure to the front line here with Hawk already down to half HP.
LNL, meanwhile, looking for a little bit of stability here. They've done a super good job being aggressive. Sugar-Free, coming out Winston in his face, back out, wait for his opportunity. Meanwhile, Dogman ready to boost and let him on in. Sugar-Free coming in, Nano boost up, easy. Moving on forward, they get Dino, maybe D-Mech the Diva. Not the most explosive of blades, but again, it's good enough. Asking might have gotten Dogman, but it's not gonna matter so much when LNL is controlling the pace the way they are. Ajax, bit of trouble. Oh, unable to get away. Asking finishes with the Winston starts, but it's still a better fight for LNL.
It is still a better fight for them, and they utilize that Nano Blade to gain positional advantage and really solidifying this defense here. But still, as long as this Tracer is alive on Asking and using Nero's hacks and Decode's ability to make space, there is a big threat for this defense, and we're going to see the dive coming in very soon with Nero wrapping around on the flank on the Sombra.
Fight going in progress. Dalton, early EMP for LNL. Again, aggressive in the face of the offense, but the offense is able to work around it. The effects of the EMP mostly gone. Narrow, though, down. Asking, equalizes. Brackolack in for Toronto. Finds two. Exactly what they needed to start punishing this aggression. And Toronto now on the verge of heading to the apex of point B.
And when you have so much mobility with this composition as well, you're playing the Tracer and the Sombra, there's nothing really for LNL to dive on with this Genji. They have to go for the backline, but obviously Dino and Swimmer, they're completely aware that Sugar-Free is going to come, and so they just avoid him. And as such, that buys enough time for Nero and Asking to do their own dive. And now we're going into this final fight. Ajax pops the sound barrier, trying to contest this payload.
Well, but you got Decon, he's being bounced. It's a Nano Winston. Good luck getting through there. You know what? You're not going to get through the way you want. Hawk, though, down pretty early. Sugar-Free now through the door, gets hacked. And okay, you have the Nano boost, but you can't bring out the blade. The hack from Nero via the EMP works out, but Sugar-Free slept again. And this time he's not going to wake up and take out 4 people.
And this is go time for Toronto Esports as well. They acknowledge that the DPS player is down for LNL, and so Toronto Esports, they're just initiating, trying to win this final fight on point B.
Meanwhile, Sugar-Free signed up for the Genji, now going to Toonfist ready to punch some people into oblivion. LNL, though, still looking to delay. Toronto applying pressure, but this stall from LNL has been so ridiculously good. Sugar-Free back in action, finds Dino some sweet revenge for all that really just non-consensual nap time that was coming in.
And that's such a hard time for this Sombra Tracer composition on the side of Toronto Esports as well. Dalton on the Brigitte just standing in a corner, contesting this payload, and there's really no opportunity for Toronto Esports to dive. And so Asking acknowledges that. He's going to swap over to this McCree, but with 10 seconds remaining, this is going to be a very tough fight with Sound Barrier coming online on the side of LNL.
Asking, though, back to McCree, looking for Sugar-Free. Sugar-Free trying to get away. He's purple, not going to get healed. And was able to get away just in time. Sound barrier from Ajax, saving the day. LNL looking for this hold here on second. Hawk explodes Swimmer. But you look to Asking. He's still alive, but you know what? A Nano Boost wince in your face, that's going to make any McCree flinch twice. Asking, working around, still somehow alive, and okay, Primal Rage. This is where McCree's going to die. You can't do anything here. He's off the point. He's fighting Winston on his own time, but I got to tell you what. Goodbye. Goodbye.
They just don't have enough time to set up this McCree really 10 seconds on the timer, and I perhaps would have liked to see a Doomfist come out instead to try and deal with the Brigitte, but it's just a good defense overall from the side of LNL. I'd like to believe, playing around this Brigitte so well. And I will say though that in a Ghost meta, it's very typical for an offense to cap out Route 66 and gain all those 3 points, but swapping over to a bit more dive-heavy meta with Sombras and Tracers and Genjis, etc., I feel like this is still winnable for the side of LNL. We've seen a lot of first point holds in the past on Route 66 because it allows you to take so many fights, and so this is by no means over, CP.
Not in the least, and I think one thing you kind of allude to here as well is that we see teams able to just hold on first. We're getting through Route 66 first. It is not guaranteed, not even a little bit. So there is a world where you can counter full hold here, but LNL, the fact that they were able to hold on second apart, where Route 66 usually goes one of two ways, right? Either you hold on last or you hold on first. The second point holds aren't very common because of how hard it is for a defense to get back out. The fact that LNL managed to do that feat is actually insane.
Yeah.
And of course, they would love to go up 3-2 going into map number 6.
But I'm not so sure about this Goats defense coming out of Toronto Esports here. They're going to look for an early contest and try to get 3 fights in total on this first point, which is of course good, but if LNL reads this Goats composition, they're going to easily counter it and gain momentum, but it all comes down to how long can Toronto Esports stall this payload and buy enough time.
Dalton on the Battle Sombra has to get quite a bit back early on here for this attack. Meanwhile, see, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And actually, the fire pick here could be quite good. Doesn't have to worry about a Widow threat here just yet. And Sugar Free, the world is going to be his oyster.
Yeah, and Gator swapping over to the Hammond, Ajax to Mercy, and this is what I was talking about. This anti-Ghost composition is now out in full force, and it's going to be so hard for Toronto Esports. They're not even contesting the payload. They're just going to let it push, and this is looking bad now for Toronto.
LNL going in, narrow, so low, just needs one more rocket and Sugar Free can't get it. But you know what, he's gonna go to the other side. Toronto is super weak here. Dogman brought back up though. Somehow LNL keeping the fight up, even after they lose one. No, Sugar Free.
Oh, it's not Sugar Free. They're going to kill him.
Are they gonna finish him? No, he's gonna get away. This is the benefit of being able to fly as he goes back over. But he has been able to finish the pickoffs here. It's been very good healing from the Toronto side, and this has been a back and forth fight where not many people have actually been picked off.
And now we're down to 2 fights as well. Deacon's going to rush in with the nano boost, but Gator just rolling away. Sugar Free with the barrage, nano boosted, and this is the fight for LNL that they needed.
LNL off the nano boosted far. They get the picks they're looking for. Sugar Free, freedom to be more aggressive here. Looking for the Zarya, asking, gonna fall. Lucio, a rocket right to the rear, and Sugar Free opening up this push.
Okay, but it took a lot of time. 2 minutes, 20 seconds on the timer, and Toronto Esports have built a lot of ultimates, asking with the Graviton Surge, as well as Decode on the Earth Shatter. It's going to be hard to get any kind of value though. Dalton's going to be invisible, Sugar Free up in the air, and Gator just going to roll around, of course, but they need to make these ultimates count on the side of Toronto Esports, and they're clumped up, ready to go.
For a second, it looked like Askin was going to shoot the grab to the air. That would have been great. Instead, they're going straight to the payload, looking for the back line. Grab on the Dalton. Just got to get rid of the Sombra. No hacks in play. And it works out for Toronto. They just dive onto the payload. They find some of the scatters. And even with Hawk getting Asking, the defense has put themselves in a good spot.
Absolutely, but this fight is by no means over. Sugar Free gets resurrected. Gator still disrupting the back line of Toronto Esports, and the question is, can Toronto Esports stay alive to build more ultimates? Krakenlakin uses the self-destruct. Can he get any value?
Nano Sugar Free drops the barrage, immediately deletes Nero, turns the corner, looks for the shield, breaks the Rhine shield, and the Pharah is the problem that needs to be dealt with here as LNL is letting Sugar Free just move in, get good damage, and even though there's delay here, it almost seems inevitable that LNL is going to grab this point. But, they lost Dogman, and now, who knows?
Yeah, and Deacon comes back to the Hammond as well. Just more stall coming out. Nero on the Genji, but the feed was from Dalton.
Toronto, they're on the verge of first point hold. Even though LNL has had such good use of the Pharah, because of the delay, it's actually taking more time. They're down to their final minute.
40 seconds remaining as well, and both sides doesn't really have any ultimates good to go. It's just going to be self-destructs all over the place. The Krakenlakin gets attacked though, can't use it. Can Hawk get a big self-destruct? This is just a brawl.
Crackalakin here in the back, self-destruct ready. He's gonna send it to the sky. Oh, this is one anti-air option. And of course, it gets Ajax. Ajax wasn't able to dodge in time. Sugar Free, now emergency Doomfist gonna fall in Toronto. 19 seconds away from bringing this back. Narrow, Blade coming out. Ajax can't believe the self-destruct. Hawk's in trouble. He's gonna lose his mech. 10 seconds remaining.
And we talked about this. The first point holds are definitely a thing on Route 66. And oh my god. LNL, they're going to be in panic mode, closing in on this payload. Sugar Free on the Doomfist, Dolphin on the Sombra. Can they get any fixes whatsoever? Asking just throws out the grapple onto the Doomfist.
Yeah, keep Sugar Free away from Auto. Sugar Free's coming back. It's not over yet. He gets a bunch of shields. Ends up getting slept and woken up, but this time, not the same results. Toronto able to delay for so long.
Wow.
Let's just reverse and look at that. That was a fight that LNL was getting more eliminations on for the most part. They had an uncontested Pharah, and yet the defense of Toronto was still able to delay and buy that much time. What in the world happened?
They just keep out-sustaining this damage. I mean, as you said, Sugar Free is roaming free on this Pharah, but they can't really capitalize on these picks and all this damage coming out from Sugar Free. You have to maybe question the tank line a bit. Did they take the correct moments to engage and go aggressive based on Sugar Free's damage? But then again, a lot of crucial small plays coming out of the side of Toronto Esports as well. You know, just using a Graviton Surge to kill Dalton on the Sombra, that's a memorable moment, roughly 2 minutes in. And so I think that Toronto Esports, they acknowledge their win condition and they use their ultimates to their advantage, where Decode would just use an Earth Shatter, get one pick, that's good enough for the defense, and Asking would just get one pick with the Graviton Surge, that's going to be enough. And so they never really enabled LNL to be in full force and 6 men coming down with this anti-ghost composition.
Very cool stuff that we saw there. And now we kind of have to look at the next map situation, where this has been the most entertaining metagame here, where we've just been seeing teams express map preference in a way that we haven't seen for tournaments in a while. And by process of elimination, there's 4 maps left in the pool. It's Ilios and 3 assault maps, Anubis, Volskaya.
I think we're seeing Ilios.
I also think we're seeing Ilios.
But
LNL, sorry, it is Toronto's map pick here, by the way, because this is not a loser. This is actually, it's traded out. It's not loser picks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Toronto does get map pick here as well.
Yeah.
But
and I think
is it a pick if he's going Ilios?
I think we might actually see Volskaya Industries. They haven't decided yet. Asking has great hit scan capabilities, and even a Hanzo could come into play. And given that Volskaya Industries is a bit more of a passive assault map, I think that maybe favors Toronto Esports. But then, you know, thinking about LNL, they've been really good with the ghost composition as well, and that's something that has worked for teams in the past. So it's just a question of what are you comfortable with? And I think that Toronto Esports might go to Volskaya Industries, but you could go to Ilios, and that's where, you know, you have Ruins to play around, give some space to Asking. So a lot of opportunities for both teams here.
So they're taking a long time to think on this. I'm going to be tilted beyond belief if they just throw it to Ilios, where I want to go with you. I want to say that you're going to have so many wrinkles in your brain, just the biggest of brains, if they go to Volskaya here. I will give you full credit. But if they go to Ilios, I'm just going to judge them. Be like, you really took that long to just pick the only non-assault map left in the pool? Okay,
it's 3 assault maps left. You know, you have to open up some Google documents and see the win rates across all scrims. It's a lot of thonking going on, maybe some statistics being thrown around, and we'll see if they pick an assault map.
You have that old meme picture where you have all the math equations going forward. They're looking at all the 3 assault maps, and they're just like, Ilios. Okay. All right, guys.
The fact that they're thinking about it means that they might not actually go to Ilios. So, you know, CP, calm down. I want to see assault maps.
I would like to see assault map, but I live for the comedy here. The comedy would be them suddenly choosing Ilios after all this. I would be entertained.
The comedy would be no assault maps throughout the entire tournament if they pick Ilios and win here.
Yeah, that would happen. It would be the first time it's happened. It is really going back to there was an era in the weeklies where it was just, what maps are you gonna play? The same maps we play every night. It's gonna be Kings Row. It's gonna be Lijiang Tower. It's gonna be Nepal. Fantastic. What a best of 3.
The tragedy of game modes in Overwatch. You know, a Greek tragedy, how you create a game mode like assault maps, and it's not a, you know, you prefer the less strategical maps instead, and it's just a matter of not producing. Oh, they're picky those.
Yeah! Come on! Are you serious right now? We're going to Ilios. Wow. Thank you, Toronto, for spending so much big brain thoughts, so much time on what map you're going to pick. And you just picked the only non-assault map. Fantastic. Let's go.
So debate.
I actually, I can't.
I personally hope we go to map 7 just so we can see an assault map. Just because of the memes. I just want the memes,
please.
You know?
Well, then we can see which assault map at least is the most worthy of the 3. Who is the most beautiful belle at the ball? Between Volskaya, Hanamura, Temple of Anubis. We don't have to worry about that for now, because we're going to Ilios, and Toronto's looking to close it out.
They are looking to close it out indeed, and we're going to head to Well, starting it off as both teams are currently rolling out. The cinematic you're seeing is just a bait. We are going to go live. Oh, I was baited. They're just picking heroes. Sorry, Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Just memeing, by the way. Talk about Overwatch for a living, and I messed it up. We all do mistakes.
Oh, well, we're getting into the attack, and ooh, this is something we've only seen once before, and we saw it in the lower bracket earlier today, but we got Pharah v Pharah in action, and you'd think we'd see more of it, but teams haven't been favoring it. Sugar Free versus Narrow. Let's get it on.
Yeah, and it's just about confidence for the Pharahs at this point. You believe in your skill and you trust in your skill to take out the enemy Pharah, or do you just want to focus the enemy Orissas instead? Both sides playing with a Hanzo, so a lot of shield spam, but it mainly comes down to the Pharahs. Are they going to go for one another or just talk to each other about?
Yeah, they ignore each other. Sugar Free goes for the ground, finds Asking, and now he goes, all right, Narrow, you're worth some of my time now. Ooh, you've hit me in the face with the rocket. I'm going to go back to avoiding you and shooting your team. And Asking, res back up. Gator knocked down, not going to be able to res that one. And suddenly, offense from Toronto, finding some real options here.
And you can't resurrect him either because he got booped into the well. So this is looking very rough now for the side of LNL. Gator just swaps off to Winston, acknowledging that they perhaps don't want to take this poke battle. And I mean, Asking on this Hanzo just keeps doing work, as well as Nero got the boop off. I think you're a bit scared of Toronto Esports playing this poke composition that they've been doing so well throughout the tournament.
It's been really solid for them so far on Sugar Free. Hasn't really been able to deal with the Pharah v Pharah. Okay, well, that's wave through. Asking and Dino out of the fight. LNL now it can be more aggressive. And Nero, slam dunk Sugar Free. Still in the fight. Barrage ready. He could turn this, so it's going to be quite hard. Diva on one side, difficulty on the other side, moves on forward, and he's not going to barrage here, but Toronto is still started out on the right foot.
And honestly, that just can't happen. That was such an easy engage for the side of LNL. They just applied a non-boost onto Gator, and he just cleans up. Easy peasy, and it's a matter of Toronto Esports perhaps not scouting enough, recognizing where the dive is going to come from, and positioning to adapt to that dive coming in. And it's an easy cleanup for the side of LNL. You're in control, and you have a lot of ultimates coming up as well.
Nero looking for Sugar Free, wants to take the battle, and it's a rocket right to the gut. 2 pickoffs here for Toronto. And Nero doesn't really have to use the barrage here. He can just relax. Toronto can't control the point. Rez coming in though, gonna get Sugar Free back in, and he's looking for Ajax. Doesn't find it. Meanwhile, Dragon on the other side. Nero gonna have to back up, and Toronto not quite able to take control here just yet, but they come real close. Sugar Free in the back finds 2.
And they're just going back and forth. The nano-boost comes out onto Gator on the Winston as well, looking to do some cleanup. Asking is still alive on this Hanzo though, trying to find any picks, and actually Toronto Esports, they turn it around, get the point capped, and now LNL are on the retreat, trying to set up for the next fight.
Pretty back and forth between these two teams. I'd argue that, I mean, between the Pharahs, it's interesting. Nero's probably applied a little bit more pressure to the Sugar Free, but both Pharahs, in a sense, have focused more on the ground.
Yeah, for sure, especially if you're Nero as well. You're playing this Orisa, and so you're confident in your ability to spam down the enemy team. Gator has had a rough time, but now, once again, LNL, they're trying this dive. Ooh. But, oh, Sugar Free goes down early.
Sugar Free, you touch the ground for a moment and the floor is lava. Oh, okay, Ajax, nice support there coming in. That was Hawk moving, covering the res, let Sugar Free get back up, and that was nice from the Diva. Nero, though, says, oh, I put you in the ground once, I'll put you in the ground again, moves on forward, doesn't land the rockets, and you see LNL working away in Gator. Primal Rage ready, could knock some people in the pit. Nano Boost just slaps Asking. What the five fingers say to the face. Orisa gonna get juggled, and Gator making so much room here.
And really, you have to reprioritize if you're on the side of Toronto Esports. Asking going to find a pick, but it's not going to matter. They are 93% up as the control takes over to the side of LNL, but Asking is going to swap to this McCree, and that's exactly what you need, playing versus this Tracer and this Para Mercy as well. So now it's just a matter of time. Can they bring down the DPS player on the side of LNL? Nero perhaps looking for a couple of more aggressive rockets, given that it's free. Celtic comes in from Kraken and not going to find anything, but Nero.
He got Dogman, and this is gonna make life really. Oh, nice stick! Dalton takes down Asking. Just found a way in. Nero, though, finds Sugar Free. So good on the far here so far. He's been putting on Clinic, punishes Hawk before he can remech. And Toronto gonna be retaking the point here unless Gator can get some serious delay.
Yeah, but they're lacking some DPS here. Dalton is back into the fight, but he can't really die without Gator, and they can't really give up the point there. 95% for Toronto Esports, so this is going to be the final fight. And LNL, they need to be on the aggressive here.
They need Sugar Free to find a big barrage. He's getting back to the fight, but he's checked by Nero. He can't move the way he wants to because you have a Fog just shooting rockets at you all the while. He has to rotate around. The McCree pressure is there. Sugar Free, play the Mission Impossible music here as he tries to find a way through for LNL. Nero on the top, Asking on the bottom, and it's just so much pressure on Sugar Free right now. As on the other,
the Nano Boost is up.
Nano Boost comes in, barrage! Big from Sugar Free. Goes in, another two. LNL getting right back into it.
Absolutely, and Deacon is going to fall down actually. So this is turning it to the side of LNL, and Gator finds a pick on Dino as well. It's just going to be cleanup from here. 87%. Can actually Toronto Esports come back to the point in time? They don't have a loose you offense. Swimmer is spawning late. Deacon is going to swap to this Hamster, trying to get back in time. 95%, and he's going to get back. And you have the Deadeye and the Nano Boost.
Yeah, the Nano Boost has got to go to Nero. It's going to be super long range. Oh, he gets Sugar Free before the Nano. Two rockets down. Drops the barrage. Fire Mercy down. D-Mech as well. Nano Boost late to the party. Nero didn't even need it. Fantastic fire play from Nero. And Toronto going to retake the point. And they're one round away. Wait, hang on. Gator says, wait, it's not over yet. Nah, now it's over. Round one. One round away from being your beat champions.
Yeah, and it was good stall from Decod on the Hammond, swapping late and coming back to give Nero enough time on the Pharah to find those picks as well. And really throughout that point, it was great Pharah play coming out from both Sugar Free and Nero, but Nero going to come out ahead towards the tail end of it. And also, when you have a player like Asking on your side, you can adapt and flex over to that McCree so easily to shut down the Tracer and the Pharah Mercy combo. So great play coming up from Toronto Esports, but it was very close. Both teams reaching 99%, and it's going to be a even closer, I believe, Ruin side here with Asking on the Widowmaker, but Dalton and Sugar Free opting to go aggressive with this Tracer and Sombra duo.
Do or die here coming in from LNL. A round they must win. They want to bring this to a 7th and final map. They want Assault to ever be played. They need to win.
Yes, and Sugar Free is going to set up a big flank. Given that they don't have a div on the side of LNL, they're going to play a bit more safe, not taking any damage. Gator's going to be prodding on this Winston. Finds a crack in Lakin.
Nice.
Asking finds a pick onto Hawk.
That was a very short moment. Finds a headshot onto Brigida. Toronto giving themselves a 6-on-5 opportunity. Asking, though, under heavy pressure. LNL, they know who they have to deal with to make this work, but it's an overdive. Yeah, Asking falls, but the collateral damage, it's too much.
It is too much, and they have to go that aggressive. I feel like when Hawk drops and you lose some sustain and you don't have a Diva with the self matrix or your Brigitte with the sustain damage, and they go for a Hail Mary dive. It's not going to work out, and that leaves Asking in a favorable position on this Widowmaker, as well as Nero on 70% on that DMP. And if you're LNL in this scenario, it's going to be very rough going into this fight, but you need to go for a big flank and try to capitalize on Sugar Free's hack.
Asking, gonna be under a little bit of pressure here, but for now, able to just keep his cool, lets the rest of the fight develop. Gator looking down, but takes a shot right to the head. So the pressure on Asking is being dealt with pretty well with counter pressure of his own. LNL though, they focus on the point, they grab it. Toronto lets it go for free, but there's a hack coming in from Nero. Asking finds Gator, and it's a full cleanup off the EMP of Nero. Toronto, they knew what they were doing when they gave that up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They realized that they cannot sustain versus Hawks Brigade, and instead they're going to play a lot more passive, take their time, and they give away 14%, but in turn that enables them to win the fight overall, and that results in even more percentage. And so I think if you're Toronto Esports, you're still reasonably happy with that, and you have the sound barrier coming up.
He's actually going on the most ridiculous ladder-esque flank. Ajax already down. Dalton has no ideas there. Dalton lucky not to get plunked into the head. And it's just 2 early pickoffs of the support line of LNL. And Johnny, LNL, they're down to what could be their final attempt here to stay alive.
Yeah, comes down to the tournament. Can they stay alive and take back this Ruins control, or are they going to follow the Toronto Esports, which are holding this point in very firm hands? Swimmer with the sound barrier, but this is the crucial fight for LNL. You have a lot of ultimates up. Can you capitalize? But Dalton goes down.
Dalton's down. Dalton got caught. It was the hack. He couldn't get away and can't rewind when your abilities don't work. 90% left. LNL, the season, the tournament's on the line. Ajax Sugar Free down already. It's not the engage you're looking for. They don't get a good EMP. Dalton coming back in. Can he sabotage his old team? His team is currently on. Gets slept. Down. Dalton out of it. Nice sleep from Dino. And that is going to be the tournament ending. Dominance from Toronto Esports. They win the Overwatch Beat Invitational Season 5.
And really, they were so dominant throughout the entire tournament. They only really stumbled when they went up against the last night leftovers yesterday, as well as today. It was a rough best of 7. But overall, going into this tournament, I do think we expect the Toronto Esports to walk away with it, given these players on their roster. Asking such an incredibly skilled player, as well as Nero on this Pharah. And then in the backline, of course, you have Dino, who impressed throughout the tournament and started making a name for himself. And so I think that this Toronto Esports lineup has a great future ahead of themselves, and this win here in the Beat Invitational is just our first look at this new lineup.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, look, I would say here is that, yes, Toronto might have won the tournament, but we have a whole slew of winners here. I say that really LNL won by putting on a great showing where they had to have Dalton stand in last minute. Dalton won by proving that he could play at a high level where he was looking at being a backup all season. Now, who knows where his future is going to go? The fans won by seeing some great gameplay all weekend long. The casters won because we got the privilege of casting this great gameplay all weekend long. Really, the only thing that lost here were assault maps. No one wanted to play assault maps all weekend long. So assault maps, Temple of Anubis, Volskaya, Hanmura, you were the true losers here. But speaking of winning, let's take a look at some of these replays.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these pre-plays. That's a 5-man setup destruct coming out of Hawk. Probably the play of the tournament in my mind. I know that my lungs suffered from screaming out at that big play. And overall, I think we saw some very impressive play, especially in this grand final, with both teams really delivering and showing what North America has to give here in the Tier 2 scene.
And it's cool to see as well, because a lot of these teams did have to deal with pretty substantial changes, right? Where so many players that a lot of these teams used to play with, they got called up to OWL. And you kind of have the double pain of you've now lost one of your best teammates, and also you yourself were called up to OWL. So you're going through a lot of things mentally at that point. But still, these are great Overwatch players. They find a way to adapt and not only put on a good show, but improve themselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then again, we have to give a reminder that a lot of these teams, they just started playing with each other and completed tryouts. And so it's not the best team play and team synergy display, but certainly the individual performances there. All of these teams are just going to improve as we move forward and get into the next season of Contenders.
No doubt. And I will say here, we now have to do our final thank yous and goodbyes. And I'm regretting not inviting Hex onto the stream here, where I know he was really busy this weekend and couldn't make the cast. Well, no, just post-game sellout, where how great would it be to have Hex come onto the stream and do the sellout where he's like, hey, guys, I was pretty busy this weekend, but let me drop in and be the hero you desire. But You know what? I'm just going to have to do my best Hex impression. Let me, channel all of Hex's life views a bit. All right, guys. You know what? This tournament couldn't have happened without our great sponsors. And who are those sponsors? Well, we got Cooler Master. I know that when I want a cool PC, I go to Cooler Master. They keep the processor nice and cold. The airflow from their cases, it's phenomenal. Check them out. Twitch, you're watching us here. You've watched us here for so long. Please support Twitch in all their ways. They did a great job for us. They post on the front page, always supporting esports. You can go to Sennheiser. Their headphones are fantastic. Life is full of misery, but you know what isn't miserable? Listening to some great tunes from an even better pair of headphones. Sennheiser, they're the ones that can do that for you. Check them out. Plex Store. Sometimes life, you need to be fast, and if you have a bad hard drive, it's not going to happen. Plex Store, they got your back. They're not going to let it happen. Plex Store, with their SSDs, give you the speed you need to survive in 2018. And then you have ViewSonic. ViewSonic, where, again, you spend a lot of time at your computer. At the very least, you should be looking at something that is crisp and high definition. ViewSonic, let them help you. They got your back. And last but not least here, Johnny, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us how good Soylent is.
Soylent. When you love the soy and you want to drink at your PC, and instead of making a meal, you can just queue into ranked, and when you pick your hero, you can just have a meal replacement, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about cooking dinner. Now you can just drink Soylent, and you can get all the nutrition you need, your daily needs, and you can keep playing Overwatch. There you go. Sellout confirmed.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, we've said our thank yous, of course. Got to say thank you to production staff for making this happen. Thank you to Bill from Beat, Dashner, a fantastic observer. These are guys supporting the tiers we've seen for a long time, and it couldn't have happened without them. Thank you, of course, to the fans. You guys, of course. We don't have a show if you're not here watching. And also, I got to say, Johnny, thank you so much for coming in and casting this weekend. I know it was new territory for you, but I think you killed it. It was entertaining, and always appreciate the insight.
Hey, thank you for bringing me on, You're mentoring me, you're mentoring Jake as well, You got a bit of a gig going on here, so I really appreciate stopping by, and I hope Twitch chat is happy with my casting as well. It's my first time, and I might not be the most polished or bring the most historical references like Mitch Leslie, but I'm trying. So hopefully I provided something to this broadcast. Thank you for letting me stop by.
Absolutely. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us here in Season 5. We'll see you soon in the future. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.